So you're a pro fighter here in Thailand. How many fights have you had now?
Now I've got 32.
32?
Yeah.
So quite a lot. So most of your experience has been down in the Phuket area. You fought on one Lumpini.
Mm-hmm.
Have you fought on Super Champ before?
Yeah, I fought Super Champ like 10 times, like Super Champ and Muay Hardcore.
Yeah, and then, so Muay Hardcore, for the people out there in TV land that don't know, is small gloves.
Yeah.
They were like 6-ounce gloves.
Yeah, they were bigger than the one Lumpini gloves, yeah.
When you fought one Lumpini, did you feel the size difference of the gloves?
Massive size difference.
Massive.
Yeah. It felt like you were bare knuckle.
Mm-hmm. We are going to lead up into this fight, which is pretty interesting. I've seen Praewa fight a bunch of times before. Mm-hmm. Did you know her before you fought?
I fought her 2 times before this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where did you fight her?
The first time was Super Champ, like over a year ago, and the second time was in Phuket at Sitthananiu. We fought 5 rounds there.
And how did the first 2 fights go?
The first fight I lost points, and the second fight I won points.
So even, and then this one.
And then this one.
So what were you expecting or thinking about prior to this fight?
My main concern was that my style is sometimes more suited to 5 rounds. And because I had beat her 5 rounds but lost 3 rounds, I was really concerned about my pace. So I just knew that I had to go from the beginning, and that I knew that technical wise I could probably win if I did that.
Here is the tail of the tape, but let's get the fight started. This was your first fight out of Fairtex. You've been here about, what, a month and a half now?
Yeah.
And so you two are getting lined up. I think the referee's name is Kang. She is the first female referee at Lumpini. So why did you make the transition from Phuket up here?
There just wasn't enough female sparring and clinching partners for me. And so my trainer that I had for 6 years in Phuket said for me to level up in my career, it was probably a good move to move here to Fairtex.
Yeah, and this was your sort of debut fight for Fairtex. It's already 15 seconds in. What were you thinking so far?
I think I didn't really do what I wanted to, which was start a bit faster. And I also remembered in this moment that when I tried to clinch, she does this kind of stalling technique where she twists her body. So round 1, I was kind of thinking, because my plan is always clinching, and then I thought maybe I'm going to have to change it up because she's going to do the stalling technique like she does here again.
Yeah, there's that turn to the body.
Yeah.
Elisa Keck fought her and lost some points to her. She did that stalling technique a lot to Elisa. But you have about 3 times the experience of Elisa. So I feel like you switched it up a lot more.
Yeah.
How did you feel? Because I thought you started off pretty good and pretty solid. What did you feel at about a minute in now?
I think also one thing is my corner wanted me to try kicking more, which is something I've never done before. So I was also trying to do that, and then realizing what to do when she catches. So there was a lot of new things I was trying to try and implement at the same time as trying to make sure I stick with my style and win. But I just kept thinking I need to keep closing the distance, but not so close she can stall.
Yeah.
So I was trying to get my range.
There, she grabbed on, she lifted her leg for the stall, but you were outside enough. And it looks like you're staying in boxing range, but not necessarily kneeing range. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely tried to keep it so I could land punches, but I didn't want to move in any closer for her to be able to tie me up.
And how do you feel like you're super cognizant of that stuff when you're fighting? Are you super aware of like, oh, I'm too close, I'm too far?
I feel like after round 1, definitely. I think it sometimes takes me a couple minutes to just try to gauge what she's going to do and see what's happening, but I think I'm getting faster at developing that in the fight.
Then how did you feel about like her? That was pretty good. Yeah.
I always do that when I fight. Normally I look away, but I've done it to her before, and I didn't want her to then do something to me, so I just did it really quickly.
Yeah, it's a little bit of showboating.
Yeah.
Well, how would you say her power was so far?
She honestly doesn't have that much power. I mean, she mainly just kicks. Her kicks are hard, but I was okay with catching them quite a lot and leaning back.
End of the first round, you go into the corner. What was Chow saying, and how was that experience?
So it was my first time ever not having my original trainer. So it was kind of weird having someone different, which I never had before. But he was very calm and just said it was good what I did, but I needed to do more. And I needed to be more active and to try and work with the range so she doesn't tie me up to stall. So, yeah.
Yeah, sounds appropriate. And then, how did you feel your conditioning was, and where did you think you were in terms of scoring for that first round?
I think the first round I thought I had edged it, but I also wasn't sure just because I didn't know how they score the stalling. And that's what kind of worried me, because the first time we fought, I think that's how she won, because she was tying me up. So I think striking wise, I think I was edging, but I didn't know how they would score the stalling technique.
I think at shows like Super Champ, the stalling would have scored higher, whereas here it's a little more entertainment oriented. I think you would have won that first round. If it was at Super Champ, maybe a draw or she won.
Would have edged it.
So going into the second round, what are you thinking, and how are you feeling? Ooh, bam, bam.
The second round, I wanted to scare her with elbows when she tried to lock, and I wanted to work my boxing. So I was like, I'm going to box, and then when she tries to lock me, I'm going to try get some elbows in and then get out was my main plan.
Then again, here's that side stall from her. The good thing about it is the referee is pretty quick to break. Which, normally those stalls, they just kill so much time.
For sure.
And do you feel normally you're this aggressive in fights?
Normally I think I'm more so. Normally I'm more aggressive. It was just the stalling technique that was kind of making me have to be careful with my range, whereas normally I go in way more with elbows and more clinching. The catch and the elbow the leg is pretty classic. Have you done that before? Never, but every time I fight I always give myself one thing I've never done before that I want to do, and this fight I wanted to catch and elbow her leg.
Did you land that elbow?
The first one, no, but the second one, yes.
You do it again?
Yeah, I do it again in round 3 and it lands really well, and I know it hurts her.
Then obviously you just did some nice boxing combinations, a body shot. Did you feel the impact of that, or what did you think of the boxing?
I felt like the boxing was working, but she has a very good poker face, and I know that from fighting her before, so I knew the body shots were hurting her because I could hear it, but she's very, very good at hiding it.
Then what would you say, how could you hear, what does it sound like when you really get someone in the body?
So the noise she made with her mouth, so whenever I hit her in the body, I could hear her being like, so I knew it was hurting, even though her face was very good at hiding it.
Yeah, because I feel like in this round, you definitely increase the boxing more. Oh!
Yeah.
Get up, Claire! Get up, bro! And how did you feel in terms of the scorecard? There was another good body shot. Do you keep track of the score as you're fighting?
I try not to, because I think I'll think about it too much and I'll just think about scoring points rather than hurting her. I think for me, I just really wanted to try and cause damage because she has such a good poker face, and I feel like when I've elbowed her really cleanly before, her face just doesn't seem to show anything. So I just really had to try and hurt her as much as possible.
And then the good cross, some of the boxing is definitely getting in, and then short elbow. You said before the body shots you could tell were damaging her. Do you feel like any of your other weapons were damaging her?
I think she was getting more hesitant with the tying up by the end of this round with the elbows. So I think she was a bit more hesitant with that, and the body shots I think were wearing her out because she was kicking less by the end of round 2.
Yeah, a little bit of a cheeky grab of the ropes there, Claire. I'm not the referee, but I definitely see a little bit.
It was an accident, I promise.
Oh, was it? I'm not trying to gaslight you. But was it, Claire? So this is going into the final round. What was the corner saying? How did you feel?
So Chow was saying not only boxing, he still wanted me to try and kick more.
Yeah.
Which is just, in all honesty, my last 31 fights, I've maybe kicked like 10 times in all 31 fights. But Crew Thai that I train with has really worked on my kicks, and I really wanted to try and show that I was listening and do more. The only problem I had going into this round was when she would catch, I wasn't very good at then defending that because I'm not normally a kicker.
Yeah.
So that was one problem I faced.
Yeah. I think it's also her style too. You fought their body kick catch. There you kick back, which I think was pretty good. Kick and low kick catch, kick back. She's doing a little bit better of a job punching after you catch. Did you feel like her gas tank was okay? Because for me, when I was commentating, I could definitely see her level dropping. She
was dropping more and more. What was funny in round 1 is I heard her corner saying Thai when I kicked her, see, she has no power. So then by round 3 I was like, yeah, who's got the power now? So I could definitely feel it, and her kicks were also getting a lot lighter. She wasn't lifting them as high, they weren't as powerful. So I was feeling the difference,
That was a clever sort of walk through from her.
Yes, her shin was very close to my face.
Did you get intimidated by that? Because that is definitely something. That's a good move from her.
It's a technique,
it's definitely a technique. Very smart move from her.
No, not really. That kind of stuff just kind of annoys me. It just makes me want to hurt you more.
Oh, simmer down, Claire. I'm kidding. You know, obviously we're in a sport of violence.
Yeah.
And I feel like at this point, we're a minute and a half left. You really start teeing off on her.
Yeah, I just started to just go with it with my boxing because I thought if I could finish her with body shots, it would be this round. And her kicks were getting slower, so I was leaning back more and more, which was making her more tired also.
Yeah, there's real disheartening effect when you like kick and you don't hit
and
the
you
person.
don't connect with anything.
It's like, oh, fuck.
And it's so tiring too.
And then what about your ring movement? Did you feel like you were doing a good job sort of catching her and pushing her back?
I was definitely following and circling too much, which Chow said to me at the end of round 2. There's the one that landed. But I feel like round 3, there's a part where I start to fix it. I just got too fixated on trying to land more body shots and finishing her by this point. But I should have thought more about cutting off the ring.
Because I feel like in the second round you were pretty good at it, but right here you're definitely
circling around too much.
You're just following, like right there.
Exactly.
You're letting her have that space on this side, and then again, with body hook, and she's definitely stalling.
Yeah.
Was she breathing heavily?
Yes, I could hear it for sure.
And then you said before you don't really keep score, but how confident were you right here?
I was pretty confident, but I'm also, there's always that part of you that's like, maybe, because of the stalling technique, I couldn't figure out how they were going to score it.
So, Chow giving the thumbs up. Here's some of the replays from that last round. There's your boxing, and you see her like trying to tie up. Getting big body shots from you. And here's that. Very smart move from her. And the big boxing. Do you feel like there was anything that you really improved in this camp leading up to this fight?
I mean, not that it looks so much like it with the kicking, but if you compare my fights before this, I don't even throw low kicks. So I definitely kicked a lot more. I just need to work on the defense if they catch. And my boxing was much better this fight as well, I think.
And she looks like she's
Yeah.
she's like
Maybe.
maybe she's like listening.
Yeah.
You're definitely listening.
I'm like, please say Black Corner, please.
please. What's he gonna say? Oh, you won.
I was so happy.
Yeah, so that is the end of the fight. Well, immediately after, how did you feel about the entire experience?
It was a lot of relief. I think it was so much in the build up with moving gym, having a different trainer in my corner for the first time. It was so many emotions. And I was just honestly just so relieved that I won and it was over.
And so you said kicking was a big improvement.
Mm-hmm.
What other things do you think changed for you or improved?
I think my cardio for sure, because we run so much here and there's so many pad work rounds, and we do so much clinching here. I think my cardio definitely has improved. Even Chow said he was worried I maybe wouldn't have the gas tank to keep pushing round 3, but then he was like, oh, but you did. So
yeah, you did. You're okay. What is next for you?
I hope either Super Champ or Fairtex fight again, and then I hope after that maybe one Lumpini again.
Give it another go.
Yes.
Yeah. You were there before, so you're probably on the radar. Pick up a couple wins, you can
and then go back.
Give it another go.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So for all your new fans out there, where can they follow along with your journey?
On Instagram, it's claire.rankinx.
I'll put it right here. And, anything else before we go? No? Okay. Sounds good. Well, we will see you and another fight sometime soon.
Yes.
Bye-bye.